Yeah, so that's me coming clean. I haven't been transparent. I haven't been doing well necessarily mentally and emotionally, just because of just the all overwhelming cloud of things that need to, or what I thought needed to be done. Good evening, welcome back to the channel. Really wanted to be transparent with you guys. Ever since we started this channel, we've really wanted to be truthful and transparent and upfront with you and talk about this cute puppy. Isn't she cute? Isn't she just the cutest little thing? She's so cute. She has picked me as one of her favorites, so I appreciate that. She's been good. We decided when we started this YouTube channel that we would be transparent with you and truthful and show you all of the journey, even if it was something that we felt might not be something that normal people talk about or might be a little taboo. And one of the things that I've really struggled with this year is being transparent with you guys, because not because I don't want to. It's been more or less just the idea of, like, if I show you how I'm doing, or if I show you what things look like, or if I show you certain aspects because I've gotten overwhelmed, or I just have like a ton of projects that I've failed, like you guys have this expectation, that can be tough. It can be very tough. So, going into it, basically. So I've had a lot on my list to do. Even from the beginning of the year, we had huge plans of what we were going to do this year and grow our homestead and do all this other kinds of stuff and have a huge garden, have a bunch of animals, grow a bunch of pork, have a bunch of meat, chickens. We were going to do 4 batches of meat chickens. We were going to do, we had 13 goats at the beginning of this year, or we grew it to 13 goats in the spring. So we were going to have a ton of dairy. We were going to sell some. We were going to do the farmer's market. We were going to expand the garden back here. I think I even did a video on kind of lightly talking about how we were going to bring the garden around the house to the back and just do like all this garden space for next year. Then as the baby started coming and getting bigger and stuff like that, related to that, with the midwife and trying to find the midwife and trying to make sure the appointments were up to date, things got more expensive. Inflation happened, whether we want to talk about it or not. And then projects around here started to add up, and things we wanted to do with the house, and then a recent development of we may or may not move sooner than we had anticipated, because we're kind of feeling called to do that, to start looking, and I got overwhelmed. I had to pick up a lot of the tasks around here, and so I didn't know how to handle that. I didn't want to share it with you, because we got to the point where we were like, we're doing dishes every night, we're doing laundry almost every day, we're trying to clean a room, and then we'd get up in the morning, we'd clean a room, and then by the time the nighttime came, that room was back to the disaster that it was before. And I just felt really overwhelmed. I felt really embarrassed, I guess is a good example. I felt like I couldn't show that because it wasn't what everybody sees, you know what I'm saying? It was like this garden bed. Never showed it after the spring, because it was kind of embarrassing. So instead of just trying to hide it and be normal, I found out that that's not actually how that works. You just kind of start to get overwhelmed, and then you fall off the bandwagon. You don't show things, and then it kind of consumes you because you don't have time to not only not show things, but you have to try and create time to show little tiny aspects of things, but still like keep everybody involved. And then if you even get more on your plate, then you don't even have time for that, so you just kind of disappear. And then it gets kind of like this all-consuming thing, and you don't feel like sharing anything. You don't feel like doing anything. yeah, so that's me coming clean. I haven't been transparent. I haven't been doing well necessarily mentally and emotionally, just because of just the all overwhelming cloud of things that need to, or what I thought needed to be done. And I had to learn how to cope with that. I had to learn how to share that, and I had to learn how to kind of move forward. I'm not saying that I'm 100% better, but I'm in a better spot than I was 3 months ago, even 2 months ago. So, yeah. So let's dive into that for a minute. There are, when you have your first baby, normally people think that it falls on majority the wife or the female that's having the baby. The woman's carrying the child, so they're going to feel uncomfortable and they're going to do this. But when you are homesteading, when you are, and I won't even use the word homesteading, when you are co-parenting, if that's the right word, when you are parenting with someone, you are taking on that role together. And so, yeah, I mean, you guys probably would normally split the task. You guys would normally split when you're having your first baby and, you're all excited and you have no idea what you're doing. It's a little overwhelming when you have all these different tasks that you have been working on. And you normally, if you're like parenting, I would assume, this is just my assumption, that you're splitting it 50-50 because it is two people. So that's what we were doing, and we basically went from two people working to now maybe 1.5, and then it was just one. And so we didn't pull back as soon as we should have. We didn't probably rest as soon as we should have. And so she got stressed, I got stressed, and then I felt even more stressed because I felt like I was creating this extra weight for her. And that's not a fun feeling. That's not fun. It doesn't create a fun environment. Not that we were having arguments or anything. It's just, I could tell. You can tell the distress because I had these expectations of, okay, well, we still got to get this done because it's on the list, and we should have just said, you know what, we're not going to do that. And we should have just said we weren't going to do that. And we should have just learned how to say no. But we didn't, because we have a hard time saying no. We have a hard time saying no, and that is just what it is. And I can laugh about it now, but at the time I was not laughing at it. I was not having fun at all. But yeah, so that was the first thing. The second thing is, like, when you find out you're having a kid, and the first thing is everybody hits you with plus let me just say this. So, like, when you're having a kid, especially your first one, and then everybody hits you with, oh my gosh, you need to do this, you need to be watching this, you need to be taking this, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, you need to be careful of this, don't do that, don't take this, don't do that, don't take that, don't, whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's really overwhelming. And if you're watching this and you know somebody who's about to have a kid, or you know somebody that just got, like, their announcement together, or they just told you they might be having their first kid, don't tell them everything they shouldn't do and they should be doing, and it's very overwhelming. They just found out they were having a kid. That's enough stress on them. Just be there to support them. I know it's coming out of, like, good behavior, and you're like, oh, I'm just trying to help, it's okay. You're probably not. I'm sorry, you're probably not. You're probably just adding fuel to the flame. Just don't. Yeah, just don't. It's okay. So it was really stressful. It was really stressful to watch Jordan, like, take all that and just kind of keep it in. And then when things got really tough, or like something might seem a little unnormal or something, she'd like freak out, and then I'd freak out, and then it's just like really stressful, man. It's really stressful because also, you're as a man, you're the man of the house, which I don't even like that term, but you're in a household where, like, I'm the strength and she's the emotion. I want to be able to support her with the strength that I have, But man, there were some times when I just felt like I didn't have any strength because I was overdoing it, and then she was just like really overwhelmed by everybody's opinions, and we hadn't found a midwife yet, and that's a real struggle. That's a real struggle. I'm just gonna put that out there, you guys. Like, man, it was just really hard. It was really hard to kind of like contemplate how I was gonna support somebody. I didn't even know what was wrong. And obviously we talked it out, we worked through it, but I remember going to bed not being able to sleep because she was upset, or there were things to do that I felt like I needed to get done or make better, and I didn't have time to do it that day. I felt like they needed to get done, and finally I realized that the way to kind of cope with that, it was writing it down. So if there was like a ton of stuff that needed to get done, then I needed to just write it all down and just start going through it little by little, not feeling bad about being transparent, not feeling like I failed just because I didn't get everything done that I needed to get done that day or that week or that month, and realize that I have the same 24 hours in life as everybody else. And not only do I need to get things accomplished, but I also have to be able to take care of myself. I have to be able to take care of Jordan. I have to be able to get ready to take care of a baby. And that was really hard. That's really, really hard because I've never had to deal with that before. I've never, in the whole time we've been married, or the whole time that like I have been in a situation where, or just any time in general, I have never had to try and figure out how to balance my personal health and mental stability, because I've never, ever been, at least to a point that I can remember, anxious or depressed. And that was really hard. It was really, really hard because I've never had to deal with that before. Never in my life have I had to prioritize putting, I guess, my health first, because I guess I've always kind of taken care of myself to a certain degree and then been okay. I'm not going to say I was perfect, but I've been okay to where I've not had any kind of feeling of anxiety or like feeling depressed or feeling like I just couldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? And so I didn't do anything. I rested and I wrote things down, and I just started working a little bit at a time, prioritizing time for me, and I'm feeling better. One of the things that I've had to prioritize for myself is this idea that I have to impress other people, or I have to get certain things done or make things look a certain way, because that's what everybody expects. Because I don't think that's what everybody expects. I think if we give them permission to expect that, then yes, they're going to expect that. But if we don't give people the permission to expect that from us, then they're just going to be happy when they get to see us. When they get to, when they get a life update, like the ultimate life update, like our last video. But you've got to make sure that you're not giving people the expectation that you're going to be perfect all the time, that you've got all the answers. That's where transparency comes in, and just being honest with you guys and letting you know that I wasn't doing well. And another big thing is we've been talking about bringing me home full time, and that's kind of stressed me out with money, but also like I feel like there's this expectation that people would expect Jordan to come home because she's the mom. We have been very, very good about shutting that down, because I have done most of the stuff around the homestead. That's why like kind of a lot of it's fallen to the wayside this year, just because I can handle the heat a little bit better. I've done most of the gardening now. When it comes to the animals, Jordan does most of the animal stuff, but we've cut back so far that it doesn't do what we had expected, bringing her home would do. All of the preserving and stuff I kind of control, and then most of the social media stuff up till the last couple months I have done as well, especially with the YouTube channel. So bringing me home first made the most sense. So we just haven't allowed people to kind of give us that expectation of, oh, well, why not bring her home first? Because we don't want to. Because, you know, Josh does a lot of stuff around here, and it'd be much better if we just brought him home first. But in the back of my mind also, I think I've had this idea of like, well, that is usually how it works, so maybe she needs to come home first. You know, maybe she needs to be there or do that. And she's had to tell me a couple times, like, no, you need to come home. You need to get it done. You can do the most good here first, and so I need you to put this past you, and I need you to come home. And so we've been working through it, and it's been good. I'm feeling better about it. I'm excited. I don't know when it's going to be. We keep kind of throwing around some dates and ideas of when we would like to, but don't know when it's going to be. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. We're going to get it. So I think that's majority of what I had. I hope you got something from this. You know, if you're struggling, it's okay to back off. It's okay to prioritize some time for you. It's okay to be okay with not getting everything done the way that you wanted it done. And that's okay. I mean, it's just okay. It's okay to do that kind of stuff. Take care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not taking care of your family, you're not taking care of your community. And I know my rambles kind of go up and down all over the place, but I hope you got something from it. And if you're struggling, I'm here for you. If you have a coping mechanism, leave it down in the comments. If you write stuff down to kind of get things off your chest, put it down in the comments. Let us know what you do. I'd love to hear how you guys handle the stress of the changing seasons, the stress of your homestead, the stress, you know, of a marriage. If you guys have stress in your marriage and you guys handle it a certain way, leave it down in the comments. This is a good place to just talk about things that we may be struggling with and how we cope with them, and that's okay. Healthy copes are good. Telling myself it's okay to not live up to everybody's expectations as long as I'm living up to our expectations. And I'm going to work a little bit on this garden. So thank you guys for joining me today. And until the next video, we'll see you later, guys. Bye. I'm a little booby. I'm a little booby. I'm a little booby.